looky what we have here.
Yeah. All right, so I know it's been a long time since I've done anything with the Trans Am. Look at that dash. But I figured it was about time before winter hits to get this thing into the shop where I can work on it. Let's see if this thing still runs. There's no choke, or at least it's not functional. Oh, there she goes. Oh, that's cold. It's not restored. I can still fishtail around in the gravel. It's like the Duke's a hazard. All right. So what I really need to do is figure out a way to shoehorn this car into my overflowing shop. All right, so here's what I was thinking. Now, what I wanted to do was make some space in the shop here in order to work on the Trans Am this winter. So my logic is to take the truck that's closest to completion, i.e. Project Snowman, because of course little by little still a work in progress, and the Iron Duke's still a work in progress. So I thought I'd take Snowman out of here, and I was gonna try and shoehorn it into that garage there. But then I was sitting in the shop here one night, sipping on a cooled Coors, and I was looking at the lift, and I was looking at the way I got it configured right now, and I thought, well, why don't I just bring the Trans Am in here, lower the Wildfire lift to the ground, put the ramps up, and drive it on there. Raise it up, and like I say, shoehorn all 4 projects into the shop at the same time. Because why not, right? One shop, 4 projects, what could be better? And the logic there is, whenever I need to work on the Trans Am, I could just open the door, drive Snowman out, it would just stay out there for the Saturday, and then I could lower the Trans Am down to the ground or raise it up and work underneath it, and just have all 4 projects kind of going at the same time. So the more I thought about it, the more it made sense. Now, the trick's gonna be is to actually, well, I'm gonna have to do the old Truffle shuffle here with the vehicles, because I need the Gratz gantry over top of the Duke so I can put the diffs in. Gear Center just let me know that they're done, so I gotta go pick those up. So I need that over there. And then in order to do that, I gotta get the Peterbilt out. And in order to get the Trans Am in, I gotta get the Snowman truck out. So like I say, gotta do a little bit of a Truffle shuffle here. But I'm pretty sure I can make this work. The only catch is gonna be, is if I drive the Trans Am in, I was thinking of backing it in, bringing it over here, and then just doing an Austin Powers kind of deal to get it straight, and then drive it onto the ramp. So at least in my mind, it's gonna work. One way or another, I'll get it on there. All right, so first up, give Snowman some air. That way, when I go to start it, I can just drive it right on out of here and hopefully not smoke up the shop too bad. And then I guess I'm gonna have to do the same thing with the peat. I'll have to air that up. Now, one thing I did with the peat was I actually, in order to move the bunk back, I ended up cutting off the anti-smoke valve. So I'll just have to rig that up again on what I have left of the airline, which shouldn't be a big deal. And then I can drive this guy out. I don't think the bunk's gonna go anywhere. It seems pretty solid. And I'm just gonna drive out far enough, like I say, in order to get the Trans Am in here, backed in. But yeah, this is this should be cool if I can pull this off. Oh yeah, and special shout out to Tyler from Ontario. So he sent me this package of models that he put together, and I'm just so tickled that he spent the time to work so hard on these and then sent them to me. Like, look at this. He built a little by little model. He's even got the white hood on there. That's just sweet. And then he built the truck from Smokey and the Bandit Part 2 that Snowman was driving, or trying to drive.
It ain't nearly as bad as it looks. Get up in there, you son of a bitch.
And he's got the TransAM and the Buford cop car, and he even built the Iron Duke. And if you know the movie Highballin', in the movie they actually had a car hauler and they were dumping the cars off to try and stop the bad guys.
Hell no, I'm gonna slide it in there. All right, hold on, Tiger.
Very cool, Tyler. Thanks so much for sending that. I really appreciate it. So with that, I was gonna drive Snowman out, but it's such a nice day. I thought I actually might take Snowman for a little ride. And I thought it might be a great opportunity to try out this new dash cam that I got from Vantrue. And I think dash cams are a really cool thing. I know a lot of the truckers out there use them. They run them all the time. And they use them to try and copy, or not copy, but videotape nonsense that they see out on the road. Especially if someone cuts in front of them or causes an accident. They got the video footage that they can go back to. And I've seen a lot of dumb things on Instagram where drivers of four-wheelers, as I call them, will pull in front of truckers or just do dumb things and cause stupid accidents. It's really good. I really encourage truckers to get those, especially if you're putting on a lot of miles. There's just so many people on the road today. So it makes sense to have one of these. But I wanted to try this as well for TwinStick's use. What I was thinking it might be cool for me to do is, because obviously it videos forward, but then it also videotapes the driver as well. I was going to set this up, like I say, take Snowman for a little ride and then see how it videotapes me, because I know a lot of you guys like watching the driving videos, and I usually set up my phone and on a suction cup, and if you go over a bump, the thing falls down. So we'll give that a go and go for a little drive and see how well it videotapes old TwinStick's trying to grind his way through the gears. All right, so I open this up and I'm starting to play with this dash cam here, and it's actually pretty slick. So of course, everything goes on an app nowadays. So it connects, the camera connects, I'm just trying to charge it up. It connects Wi-Fi to your phone. And so of course you've got the main camera out the front, which is obviously videotaping what it sees out the front. And then there's a camera here that goes backwards into the dash, and that's kind of looking at us right now. And then this extra camera here is actually a backup camera, or a camera that can face, backwards on the vehicle. And that's why there's this longer cable. And the more I think about it, is this might actually make a really good installation on the Iron Duke. Because for those that have driven cab overs, they know that there is just a wickedly bad blind spot on the shotgun side, just outside of the door there. If there's a vehicle there, you'll never see it. So what I could do is take this backup camera and either rig it up on the little window down lower on the door, or maybe through one of the vents. But I could rig this up so it's looking backwards, and then I could see up on the dash. Well, I'd be able to see it in this camera just by looking up on the windshield if anyone is actually in my blind spot there. So kind of a more modern way. I mean, obviously I'll have convex mirrors. I know Carmen, he had the big convex mirror looking for that same blind spot on his cab over, and he's probably yelling at the screen right now going, "You don't need cameras, you could just use mirrors." But it never hurts to utilize technology. So what I think I can do now is rig this up. We'll just use this camera for today's purposes and rig this up on the windshield, and then go for a little drive. But man, that is slick. All right, so I just rigged this up temporarily. I just threw the main camera on the windshield there, and then the backup camera I threw on my air conditioning window, just so it could kind of face backwards, and you kind of get the idea. So just go for a quick drive here and show you what this camera can do. I do love driving this truck. Giddy up and go. get the idea. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. I mean, especially if you're a professional driver, you want to videotape and you can take the video to your insurance company when there's an accident and go, yeah, it wasn't my fault, here's the video to prove it. And then for a YouTuber like myself, you can videotape yourself from various angles and throw it on your YouTube video for everyone to enjoy. So yeah, if you want to check them out, if you want one of these for yourself, go check them out at Vantrue.com. All right, let's see if we can't get that TransAM put away. Okay, so next up, I got to get the peat out of here. So I just aired it up. Oh, the seat's low. Guess that's how you're supposed to sit in the Peterbilt. Oh, yeah. I can't see much out of the fronts, obviously, so I'm just gonna have to use the force and assume that I'm pointed straight, and I'll make sure I turn the brakes off. I feel like Jim Carrey. Alright, that should do it. Okay. Next on the list is let all the cat diesel exhaust dissipate. And then, like I said, I gotta get the gantry over there. And then I gotta get those out of the way. Those are the new step boxes for the peat. Gotta get those out of the way, get the fenders off, and then I'll try and wiggle the TransAM into that corner. Too bad at all. I may have to wiggle it one more time to get it perfectly straight, but I think that should be enough room because I still got to put on the ramps. So the catch with this is you can't have the dollies, because right now you can't load the car with the dollies on there. So I got to raise it up, take the dollies off, and then set it down on the ground, and then it's not going to be able to move anymore. So got a little more playing to do here before I get it into the spot that I want it in. I guess I got to make sure as well that the truck's still going to fit underneath it. Yeah, so I think I still got a little bit of room to come this way. Probably something like that. That way Snowman can still go underneath it. And I still got room to work over here on the Duke. Yeah, not a lot of room, but enough. Yeah, I think this is gonna work. Okay, I'll get those ramps out and see if we can't drive this thing on. Man, it's a good looking car. Honey, hush. God, do I ever feel like the Bandit when I slam the door behind me. You know, that's why I'm such a fan of Wildfire lifts, is because you have the ability to move it around your shop and put it wherever you need it. It's just wicked cool. Yeah, I'm glad I had that, that as alcoholics refer to as
A moment of clarity.
where I could just put this up above the snowman and then put all 4 projects in the shop. It was awesome. Say hello to my little fleet. Okay, I guess what I need to do now, well, first off, I should probably quench my thirst. This is hard work, moving all these lifts and gantries around, but man, that is looking right, sitting up there on that lift. Oh, that's so cool. All right. Okay. Got to get rehydrated before I move these into my, I guess I'll try and stuff them into my house garage because we don't really need them for a bit. Those are of course going on the Duke over top of the wheels in the back there, but they'll just be in the way if I put them there now. And as I mentioned, the gear center said the diffs they made me are ready, so I got to wheel over there and pick those up. But it'll be cool because I can just use a gantry, pick them off the back of my truck, and then set them into place. So that'll be cool. And yeah, put the peat back away. Of course, still got a lot of sanding to do on the peat. Oh man, my projects are never finished, but I just keep picking away at them. And I always get there little by little. So of course, this is the 6.6 liter, or the 400 cubic inch engine that I picked up. Now, what I need to do is Vivor actually sent me a engine stand, so I got to set that up, and then hopefully my daughter Reese, who's in mechanics right now, she's really interested in learning more about engines. She'll help me take that apart, and then we'll take that to a local engine shop to get decked and blueprinted and honed out and cleaned up and machined down and all that fun stuff. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this front clip yet. It'd be kind of neat to mount on the wall and get the lights functional, wouldn't it? But this is actually a 1980 Trans Am. The folks that have really sharp eyes will be able to tell that the T-tops go all the way to the edge and line up with the door opening here. The 77, 78, well the 76s, 77, 78 they're all kind of notched. So if you look close at the movie, it was actually right about there where the sunroof panel would start. And I never really like the look of that. I like the 80 because it's just cleaner if it opens up all the way with the window. So I'm a big fan of that, but of course, I'm not a real big fan of the 1980 kind of soft plastic front end. And the guy that I bought it off of put I think it's a 77 clip on there. Now it's still missing the valance underneath. I've got a couple of damaged ones that I'm hoping to be able to pick the best of the two and put that in there. So it's kind of a clone. It's obviously not going to be a perfect replica of the movie. I did the whole movie correct thing. I did the whole, I don't want to say it again because I'm going to drink again. I did the whole movie correct. Oh, there I go again. I know, corny. But I did the whole thing like that, making the actual as accurate as I could against the movie with the truck. And that was fun and all, but oh, look at that, neighbor kid zipping around his dirt bike. Nice. I don't think I'm necessarily going to do that with the car though, because, you know, that was fun and all, but the car is just supposed to be a fun Bandit 1 made for Mrs. TwinSticks to jam around. Put a nice engine in it, paint it up as best I can, get Tony to put all the decals on there, but I think it's going to look real good. So obviously the interior is incorrect. I mean, as groovy as the red is, it definitely doesn't match the movie. Matches the period though. My daughter Reese is a big fan. She's like, oh, I love the red. But my wife's kind of like, yeah, can we make it black like the movie? So I need to replace everything basically. I'll have to get the seats. I might get some seats out of a newer vehicle that have the power, you know, up and down, lumbar support and all that fancy stuff. Again, it's not going to be a perfect movie replica. And then what else? Obviously need to, I guess I got to pull the seats out. I'm thinking I need to get new door panels. If anyone knows, if anyone out there knows, has black interior pieces, I mean, even the visors, anything that's in black, original black, please send me a note, twinstickgarage@gmail.com. I'd definitely be interested in that because I'm going to try and paint a few of the things. Obviously these panels, like the glove box cover here, I'm thinking I got this trim black stuff that's actually made for automotive trim components. So I'm gonna try, maybe I'll pop something off and give it a quick spray and see if see how it works. But I'm thinking that might solve my problem for a lot of it, because if it's in good condition, then why replace it? Now I do have a new dash. The guy that I bought the car off of has a new black dash for it. Obviously need the steering wheel. Oh, the center console. I mean, at least I got the black cap, so that's a start. But I did find something. There was a guy selling a TransAM, a parting out of TransAM. It was a 77. And had a black interior. So I said, well, send me pictures of what you got. So he sent me pictures of the seats, and they were pretty rough, and the door panels didn't match, and I was kind of like, well, that's not really that great. But he did have the seat belts, so I ordered the seat belts and had them shipped over. But then the center console, he sent me a picture of the center console, and I noticed some, it was kind of a smaller picture, and I noticed some writing at the very front of it. It looked like a B and an R. So I asked him, I said, is that a Burt Reynolds signature? And he couldn't confirm or deny. But what he told me is, he goes, I'm gonna sell it as if it's just a regular old console. So the guy that he bought the car off of swears that it was a legitimate Burt Reynolds signature. He said Burt Reynolds was at some car show in southern Georgia, and he got the console signed, and he had the glove box door signed as well. So the guy that I bought off of kept the door, or the glove box door, and put it on his car that he was restoring. But he says, I'll sell you the center console. So I don't know. I've taken a look at Burt Reynolds signatures online. And I mean, it's close. It looks very similar. It looks kind of rough. I know Burt Reynolds did sign a lot of different things. So all the experts out there are probably going to say, oh, it's not real, it's not legit. And that may be, but for what I paid for it, I'm going to just believe that it's real and that Burt Reynolds actually had a hand in my TransAM, in my Bandit 1. Now, of course, this still needs to be refurbished. It's in a little rough shape. So I'm hoping what I might be able to do is, I don't know, I'm looking for suggestions here. I got to fill in this little cigarette burn, good old days when people smoke in their cars, and try and clean it up. I mean, maybe I could use that trim black and freshen it all up, but I've got that, so I'm pretty excited about putting that in the car. And what else? I found a movie correct antenna. Found this on eBay, but it looks darn close to the one that was used in the movie. Of course, the movie one didn't have this bracket. I just put it there just for hanging for purposes for now. But it looks awfully accurate to the one that old Bert hung his hat on and then pulled it off when he was done kissing on Sally.
That's a big handful.
And the only difference is, instead of this black, it was just kind of a gray, a primer gray. So all I need to do is sand that down and paint that gray, and then drill a hole in the roof, bolt that on there, and then run the cable through. So that needs to go to the CB, obviously. So just like I did with the Pace CB145, the movie correct, the movie correct CB in Snowman, I actually found a Pace CB166 model off of eBay, and I sent it to the guys, to Larry and Chris, the brothers down in West Virginia at B&C CB Radios. And they actually gave it the once over and tested it out and cleaned it all up and made sure it was working, and then sent it back to me. Now, when I showed this after I got it off of eBay in an earlier episode, a lot of folks were explaining to me what the bracket was on top. So this bracket here, so what this is a quick release. So I don't know if I can find the, I guess I can look on eBay, but I guess the top mount for that. But that was, this is an early version of what guys used to do to keep their CBs from getting stolen out of their trucks, or I guess in this case your car. is there'd be a quick release. So you just push these two buttons or these two tabs, and then you could just slide it out. There'd be a locking mechanism or a locking top bracket in your vehicle. So you just slide it out and take this with you. It was kind of akin to the days in the 90s when everyone had Alpine and Pioneer stereos, and they would just pop off the faceplate and take that with them to keep the radio from getting stolen. So yeah, look at that. Isn't that sweet? Movie correct. So I'll have to figure out how to mount that in there and get that going. I mean, obviously the car needs to get completely taken down. I'll have to get the carpet replaced with black. And, oh yeah, there's one other thing. Where did I put that? So obviously, there's some things that I do want to make movie correct. Now again, it's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be as close as I can and just have a little fun with it. So I thought I need to get a custom license plate. Now I tried to get Bandit, BAN-2WO on Snowman, and they wouldn't give it to me. And I was like, someone really has Bandit? So anyway, I didn't worry too much about that because normally the trailer's on there and you wouldn't see the plate anyway. But I really wanted
BAN-ONE.
And I couldn't get it. For some reason, they said that BAN, any configuration that starts with BAN, they wouldn't give me. So I tried BAN, obviously ONE was gone. BAN-1, number 1 was gone. I tried all these different configurations. They said, no, it's too close to the guy that already has BAN. So I said, okay, well, how about we go to BN-10E? So that's about as close as I can get to it here in Alberta because someone already must have a BAN-ONE, but that's close enough for me. And it's nice, they actually give you two. I don't know why, we don't need plates in the front of our vehicle. So I guess that's gonna be another one for my collection. I'm getting too many plates. And I know I gotta get these pictures mounted. Yeah, getting a little over my skis here. So I'll mount that on the car, and yeah, I'm really excited about it. So what I'll do now, I guess, is put the steps away, the fenders, back the Pete in, raise the TransAM up a little higher, put Snowman underneath, and I'll probably park these projects for the night. But hope you enjoyed the episode. Thanks for following along. Thanks for following all these builds. Thanks for watching this to the end. If you could go down and give it a thumbs up or a like, that helps to drive the analytics and get this video out to more viewers. So I really appreciate everyone's support. If you want to make a comment, good, bad, or otherwise, feel free to comment down below. I read everyone. I don't respond to everyone, but I do read everyone. And yeah, with that, I'll bid you farewell. Hope to see you next week. And don't ever forget, if you got it, a trucker brought it.